creating custom Pokemon for you, Episode 1.
Alright y'all, if you're new here, what we're going to be doing today is using the power of random wheels, as well as a little Pokedex filler's magic, to create custom Pokemon creations just for you. Our first custom Pokemon will be for XX Toothless XX, who commented on my TikTok. Let's start by getting your custom Pokemon's power level. It can be regular, legendary, mythical, pseudo-fossil god, or convergent. Looks like he got regular though, nothing wrong with that. Now let's see how many times your Pokemon can evolve. You can get 1, 2, 0, or the special split evo, and it looks like you're gonna get 2, which makes you a full 3-stage evolution line. Now let's see what typing your Pokemon will be by spinning this wheel that has every single Pokemon type on it twice. Your first type is going to be the Steel type. That's cool. Usually one of the strongest types in Pokemon, so maybe this is a strong Pokemon. And you are Steel Water type, which is actually very unique because I think the only real Pokemon with that typing right now is Empoleon, so that's really cool. And the last step before we create which Pokemon looks like, let's spin the X Factor wheel, where you have a chance to get cool things like signature abilities and Mega Evolutions, and you got exactly that, a signature ability.
The first stage of your Pokemon is a Glob, the Alchemy Globfish.
That's right, this Pokemon combines the weird body texture of a globfish with popular alchemy metals such as copper. In fact, Alclob's body is completely made out of liquid copper that would be constantly slushing around as it moved.
At level 23, Alclob would evolve into Silwhale.
As the name implies, this Pokemon is now completely made of silver, but more than that, this Pokemon is really big.
Now, I don't see it being anywhere near the size of real-life whales, but it would still definitely dwarf the average trainer.
At this point, you've probably noticed that we went from a copper fish to a silver whale, so that final evolution should be pretty obvious.
That's right, at level 40, Silwhale would evolve. This thing's huge!
Its name is Illinormous because this Pokemon is both illustrious and enormous.
This Pokemon is so large that it even gives Wailord a run for its money, and when you combine that with its liquid gold body, you get one of the most unique Pokemon of all time.
And to reflect just how unique this Pokemon is, I came up with the signature ability, Liquid Gold Body. This ability says that all Fire-type moves and burns won't harm the Pokemon at all, and instead give it a speed boost. This ability makes sense because this Pokemon is composed of a liquid metal, so heating up that metal wouldn't damage it and only really make it more liquid. Today's second custom Pokemon is for Teddy Brolin, who asked for one here on YouTube. So let's bring back out that power level wheel and spin it again to see the power level of our second Pokemon. This one is really close to legendary, but we got another regular. Still nothing wrong with that. Now let's see how many times your Pokemon can evolve. Again, you can get 1, 2, 0, or split, and you got 1 this time, which makes you a 2-stage evolution line. Now let's see what typing we're working with this time by once again spinning the wheel with every single Pokemon type on it twice. Our first type's going to be normal. That's pretty cool. I feel like a lot of people think that type is pretty boring, but I'm actually a pretty big fan, and we're normal cosmic type, which is crazy. If you don't know, that is our fan-made type for the region, but I can't even think of what a normal cosmic type would even be. Like, seriously, these two types feel like complete opposites, with normal type being like normal animals, and the cosmic type for us is like cosmic beings, so this is definitely going to be challenging. And of course, the last step before we see which Pokemon looks like, let's spin the X Factor wheel again, and it's looking like none this time, but you're a cosmic type, so you're already cool enough.
The first stage of your Pokemon is Audipop, the bravest puppy ever.
At first, I was really struggling to figure out some sort of theme that would fit this typing, but I ended up coming up with something I think is perfect, even though it's a little depressing. Because this Pokemon is based off Laika, the name of the real-life dog that was sent into space in order to test like how space launches would affect living things. Spoiler alert, the dog didn't end up surviving, which is pretty sad, but for our Pokemon, it turned out way better.
Instead of turning into a ghost type, when Audipop was exposed to the cosmos, it evolved into Lycalaxy.
That's right, this Pokemon somehow absorbed all the cosmic energy around it, allowing it to not only survive, but thrive in outer space. And it now spends its days playing fetch through the cosmos. The happy ending! Today's third Pokemon is for Scotty Criswell, who again requested one right here on YouTube. So let's bring back out that power level wheel and see what the third Pokemon's power level is. We're getting something, a fossil Pokemon. That is really rare. I love making these. Now let's see how many times your fossil Pokemon will evolve. We do have a different wheel for this because the fossil Pokemon usually evolve 0 or 1 times, and you got 0, which makes you like Aerodactyl, a fossil Pokemon that doesn't evolve. Because you're a fossil Pokemon and I'm an old school fan, we're gonna assume your first type is the rock type, but your second type is the ghost type, which is really cool. That has definitely never been one of the fossil Pokemon's typings, so we're doing something new. And the last step of our last Pokemon, let's spin the X Factor wheel to see if you have anything cool, but again, none this time.
Your Pokemon is Impactodon, the spirits of the Impact Pokemon.
Unlike traditional fossil Pokemon, this Pokemon is not an ancient fossilized creature. It's actually a meteor fragment. More specifically, it's a fragment of the meteor that destroyed all the dinosaurs long ago. And the actual lore behind this Pokemon is that when that happened, all the spirits of the dinosaurs were absorbed by the meteor and created Impactodon. And it's kind of messed up, but that's where this Pokemon's name comes from. It's Impactodon, which sounds like impacted on, because that's what happened to the dinosaurs. That's gonna do it for this video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'm still a small enough YouTuber where all that stuff actually matters a lot more. And if you want the next custom Pokemon, make sure to let me know across any of my social medias that can all be found in the description.